Jesus Christ looked at nature, looked at the circumstances, and said, peace be still. When you are in the will of God, you're in the safest place to be, even when you're in the midst of a storm. If they would have really remembered what Jesus said, what did he say? He said, let us go to the other side. He didn't say, let us go halfway and drown. He said, gentlemen, we're going to make it, but we're going to have some trials as we try to make it. And I'm going to sleep. I suggest you get your pillow and go to sleep with me. In other words, he calls them timid because they forgot his word because of how big the circumstances were. I am not undermining the circumstances, family, friends. I'm not saying this isn't serious. I'm not saying we shouldn't be cautious. I'm not saying we shouldn't be deliberate in what we do and the decisions we make. I am saying if you are living your life in the will of God, and if we are living our lives in the will of God, then this is the opportunity to see God at a whole nother level. This storm we are in, not only the medical one, but anyone that's affecting you right now, is an opportunity to see the God of nature, because nature is going crazy right now, just like that storm was in Mark 4, to see God rule and overrule our circumstances and meet us in the midst of it. And Jesus is laying on the boat, he's getting wet, you know? I mean, you know, it's a bad weather situation, but he's still in charge. The passage concludes with this phrase. It says, they were very much afraid when they said, what manner of man is this, that even the winds and the waves obey him? You know, sometimes we're afraid of the wrong thing. We should be fearing God more than fearing circumstances. But the circumstances feel so near us, and we're affected physically or circumstantially by it, that it's easy to stop fearing God and start fearing stuff. Well, I'm going to ask you to join me, and I'm going to join you, and we're going to fear God together. Yes, we're going to be wise with circumstances, but we're going to believe that if we fear God, who controls nature, that he can speak the word, and he can change the trajectory of the situation. You know our problem? We're either not in God's will, or we're not approaching our storms the right way. Let's get in God's will, which means we hear his word and obey his word. He said, let us go to the other side. So guess what? We're going to do it in a storm, but I'm going to get my pillow. I'm going to get my cushion. You get your cushion. And you lay back and you talk to God as you get ready to cross over, and you say, God, I know it's uncertainty, but you're my covering. You're my protector. My eyes are going to be on you. I'm going to trust you during this storm. Whatever that storm is, I'm going to trust you. And I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to rest in your truth. This is why you need to listen to the word of God, hear the word of God, and respond to the word of God, and not be so timid. Yes, we have to be human to a point, but not to a fault, because God is in the equation. So we're to trust God now as we cross over in this storm. We're to believe that God has a will, he has a plan, and if he let it rain, then he's up to something bigger than what we see right now. And he's up to something worldwide. So I want you to get close to God. Pray for one another as you cross over. Pray for the storms that one you or a fellow saint happens to be going through, a fellow family member. Talk to each other. Encourage one another. And I know the boat looks like it's filling up, doesn't it? Looks like you're going to drown. You're not going to drown. Not if you're in the will of God. He's going to take you to the other side. Whatever that means in your life, or whatever it means for us, we're going to make it through this storm.